At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance. We are the future of crypto.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Vibin with Vibra and Facing Reality.
What up, brother? Thank you for having me.
How's it going? Sorry.
I'm doing good. Sun is shining again. We had a week of rain, non-stop rain, typical Dutch weather. So today we had the sun out, so I'm happy.
There we go. Yeah, we surprisingly up here in Buffalo, no snow. It's going to rain coming up. We're mid 40s, so global warming.
It's all over. Yeah. Do you have a late winter as well, or do your winters usually start at December?
Yeah, hey, I'm a big fan of no winters.
Same here. Why do you think I'm gonna go to Portugal?
There we go.
Give me sun all day, man.
Yeah. What's up, Mobius? Thank you for coming in.
Good morning, Samantha. Another legend. I love Sammy.
Always helping out. Appreciate it. So yeah, let's check out, see what the bubbles are looking like today. There we go. So I got the little bloody Wednesday.
Say that again. Besides Flare, then.
Yeah.
Didn't that drop like 70% or 80% yesterday or the day before?
Yeah. Well, it got the airdrop finally was distributed yesterday, and I mean I didn't expect it to dump this hard. I mean, it was at like 50 cents.
Yeah, it went hard.
It looks like so they must have just listed it up here on the bubbles, but it was at like 50 cents before the airdrop. So yeah, it tanked a lot, but that's expected, when all of a sudden billions of coins hit the market at once. I mean, and especially when you're waiting for them for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
should be used by now. I mean, Hex took 2 years. Pulse Chain clearly is taking 2 years. So it's the new metric.
It is
2 years.
Yeah. And for anyone that got sacrificed for Pulse Chain and is kind of worried or like, getting cold feet and it's been a while, this XRP, I mean, I personally didn't sacrifice, but I held XRP purposely for this airdrop, and it's been over 2 years. And I had no idea. I thought it was going to be maybe 6 months to a year. I never thought it was going to be over 2 years. So these things take time, and this is nothing out of the norm.
Exactly. And we're good with Pulse Chain.
Yeah.
People don't have to worry. It's just a matter of time.
It is. That's correct. It's so great to see you facing reality. It's great to put a face with the voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's not a robot. He's real.
No, not an AI.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So anybody, if you haven't followed us on Twitter, we're Lindsay's been crushing it. We are about to put out our planner here. So anyone that we're onboarding people constantly. It takes a lot of time and effort. You always are spending that hour to 2 hours showing people, walking them through everything. With this planner, you're going to be able to give it to your grandma, your mom, your sister, anyone that's never touched crypto, and they will walk them through getting Ethereum, Bitcoin on a ledger safely. So it saves you that onboarding time and that couple hours. You repeat, and it's like Groundhog's Day over and over and over for people.
Yep.
So trying to figure out a way to save time on that. But Yeah, what's up,
Yeah, I
bro?
gave it to my what up, Rex? How you doing, brother? Yeah,
Yeah,
I gave this course to my kids, and they both got stuck on the 2FA. Not because of the description, because it's perfect. They did it go through it step by step. It's just that the 2FA is somewhat annoying to set up because you need to have your email, your account, and all these things. And if it's not set up correctly, they stuck. So we skipped that for now and let them proceed. But up until now, it's been easy peasy. It's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. So props to you, man. I mean, if a 15-year-old can go through this course and actually set up a ledger, then pretty much anybody can do it.
yeah, that's the goal. You know, is that that's the biggest problem that I've found with over the last couple years is people that are ready, like that I talk to on the phone, they for something is holding them back where when I'm in person with people, they're so much more comfortable to take that step. And
Yeah.
now it's almost like you being there. If when you somebody you trust gives you something and says, this works, this will be great for you, it's so much better than just something you randomly get. The trust factor is huge in crypto and especially inside the Hex community. People are so giving, so trustworthy, and just
Yeah.
so there's no community like it, and that's why I want to give it away almost, but obviously we're gonna sell it for like $10-20, something like that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do referral codes, so anyone that wants to sell it, we're gonna do at least 20%, so people can make some passive income. So it's gonna try hopefully help everybody around the board with onboarding, speeding up the process, all that stuff.
Yeah, what I see is that the threshold just moved. So when I started in crypto, the threshold was it was just not out there, wasn't known. You had to jump to so many hoops to get to your crypto and actually buy it. So there was a really high threshold for people to actually get into crypto. Then we got the whole centralization of everything. Everything got more streamlined. Now everybody can get crypto on just a push of a button. And then we realized, wait a minute, we've doing it all wrong. Now we are teaching people how not to get into crypto. We need to do it all over again. And this is where your course and other courses come into play. And now all of a sudden the threshold is high again because you want to have people safe into crypto. So even though the threshold was big back then, and then it somewhat got away, now the threshold is up again because we need to teach people to get into crypto the correct way. So that is something that I did find out with most of the courses. It's still a lot of things for people to get through, and it's overwhelming. And it's not to get into crypto; it's to get into crypto safely. So it's a completely new process that we need to go through.
Mhm. And 100%. And it's getting it's people you can't force people to do it. They have to
No,
wanna do it. And so some people it takes time. So with someone giving you something you trust, it comes from that source. So you're not hesitant about getting scammed, and you can also take it and do it on your own pace. And we're also going to
yep,
put some videos on the Lindsay's making them now, just simple like when you're on your ledger, clicking them to send, and just the simple stuff that new people want to double check they're doing it right. Okay, how do I to paste my address? Did I do it right? So we're gonna have videos on the channel, just if like with the two factor, if your dot was having a problem there, we're going to have a video with walking you through the two factor. So all of that will be on the channel.
yeah,
So when you have that, all of the information to go to from people you trust, I feel like it makes a big difference.
for sure,
So
for sure.
really, really excited about that. And also
Yeah, man.
Luna Classic, a pre rags. I'm always going to be grateful for the tip on Luna Classic. I mean, I went all in. I mean, yeah, I mean, look, we're
Sold the farm.
Yeah, I mean, we're only down 100% on the year, but I mean, this week we're up to 2.6%. So, I'm happy. I appreciate
Crushing.
that. And, Yeah, Molly, the Ethereum bros, 100%.
Mm,
Well, that's so funny. That
mm,
yes, Lindsay, that's the goal. Together we all grow. And
yep,
in Luna Classic,
exactly.
we could do that.
I was promised 10K each, sir.
Oh man,
Where's my 100K Bitcoin?
it's coming. It's
Yeah,
coming. So
eventually. Yeah.
you were saying earlier on the green screen that you were trying to go back and rewatch Richard's
Yes.
4 hours because us that have been in Hex for a while, I didn't get anything new out of that. Just watching it kind of from the outside, and you were trying to pick up on the small things. So, is there anything that you
Well,
noticed in there?
yeah, I do need to go over it again because let's be honest. As soon as he got on the stream, I knew instantly, okay, this is not gonna go the way many people think it's gonna go. So I posted something in the DMs on Discord, preparing everybody, brace for impact, and it sets the tone. So instead of being excited to hear anything, everybody's looking at the whole conference or waiting on something positive, and right from the get go, everybody's been somewhat let down. So you start watching it more from a different perspective and a different feeling, and you don't pick up on the things that you should be doing. Just read between the lines, listen to the words that are spoken. And while I was watching it, it was 4 hours long, man. I thought, oh, I need to remember this. I need to remember this. Because it's funny how in conversations, when people are redirected to another type of conversation or a different topic, but it's also related on the things that they were talking about, you sometimes use different words and slip ups because you don't have to restrain yourself because you now restrained yourself in a new concept and thereby sometimes slip up. And I got a few of them, but I completely forgot it was 6 in the morning. I need to rewatch that. Yeah, we'll go over it.
Yeah. And, just the fact that there was almost 4,000 people watching that last day.
Yeah.
And even the first night, there was, I think, 12 or 1,400 people watching it consistently throughout. I mean, that's so impressive. That I don't see that anywhere else in crypto, unless it's unless it's one of the crypto banters or the major streamers. But as communities for coins, there's nothing like it.
Nope.
And it's just I'm starting to see how big community is going to be in the future with projects, with everything basically, especially
Yeah.
when NFTs start getting integrated as much as people hate them right now. Once you turn on your LG TV next year and you can display all your NFTs on your TV while it's off, like it's going to really start, like it's going to change stuff. But community is where it all is going to start. And we by far are leading the way in all of crypto.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about it in the green room. I think people don't even realize the difference if they never experience the bear market and how everything dies down normally. You could literally go out of crypto pretty much for a year in the bear market, come back and didn't miss pretty much anything. It's still completely dead. Now, in this bear market, we see exactly the same thing, except for Hex. Everything is still vibrant. Everything is still going on. We still have conferences. We have daily Twitter spaces. We have literally so much content creators making videos on the daily with good viewership and good engagement. This is something that is not normal within a bear market. This is truly something exceptional, and I don't think people pick up on it. And you're completely right. In the end of the day, it's the community and the consensus that create value. And the ones that realize it go a long way. So
Mhm.
just
And
be
it
patient. It will turn around.
Yeah. And I never really understood, or I kind of thought people were crazy when they say stuff like, there's people that are in this community that are here to purposely destroy it, to purposely trying to take it down from the inside. Like there are people in this community that want to see Hex fail.
Yep.
And it's and you don't, and so a lot of people don't understand that, and they just can't fathom that. It doesn't make sense. And it really is true that, as when you're doing a lot of good, people want to bring you down. It's really sad.
Yep. Richard's always said it, no expectations. And it sounds so cliche, but in general, it's dictated throughout your whole life. The the emotion that you get from something, no matter what it is always dependent on your pre-assumed expectation of something. If you expect something from something and it doesn't do it, you're sad. If you expect something bad from it and it is good, you're good. It's all dependent on what's your expectation of the outcome.
Yeah.
And a lot of hexagons are butthurt because they had certain expectations and they weren't met. And yeah, now they go being like children on a high school playground or whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And the timing too I think was also a big part of that when
Yeah.
we all drank the Kool-Aid too with
Oh yeah.
Stain and Pulsex and stuff. And when Hex came out, it was the bear market. There was nothing going on really in 2018, 19, and late 2019 we started to pick up into 2020, but it was the same stuff we're hearing now. Is crypto dead? It was getting banned across the world everywhere. It's just the same FUD, but coming in different directions. And the community is gonna be what separates Hex. Even if people say, "Oh, there's no use case to Hex," blah blah blah. Well, guess what? There's a community of thousands of people that are so strong that will do anything for each other, and that alone, to me, is more valuable than a coin that has great utility with a ghost of a community.
It's funny how people hammer on utility like it's some kind of gospel. But if they look around in their own room right now and throw away everything that has no true utility for you that you use on a daily basis, do you know how many people will be sitting there in an empty room?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It is something that you look out for the possibilities in the future. But in the end, it's just consensus of the people. And it doesn't really matter what the consensus layer may be or what the narrative may be, as long as we all agree with it. And that will determine if it gets value or not.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm really excited, to talk to Rags a little more. I've just been so busy with personal stuff and with the company. It's so hard. There's so many projects going on. It's so much happening that I haven't had the time to properly talk about Texans. So I don't want to say anything stupid or whatever. So I'm really excited about having Rags on next week to really talk
man.
about it, because the idea behind Texan is, we saw it with Brexit. Why not? Why can't we do it here?
Yeah.
In a real, genuine, authentic way.
Yeah, when Brendan and Mac came out with the concept of Texan, I was instantly sold. The same reason I was sold on how Hex was portrayed. It's the message that it brings. It's the message where it stands for. And as soon as it was clear where Texan stood for freedom and independence, and how could you not side with it? So no matter what the project would or would not do, I was always from the beginning supporting the message, the cause, and everything. And then you start seeing the community behind it, the same way we have in the Hex community. It's like-minded people that all want sovereignty and freedom, And we all know that it's a community that creates value. So that's why I'm really bullish on Texan. And you can see they took wise lessons from Richard and built upon it exactly as he said.
Yeah.
How can you? That's another thing I don't get, with a lot of Hexicans blaming on Texan for being a copy of Hex. Well, first off, it's not a copy of Hex, not even in the
Yeah.
slightest. But still, even if it was, when something is good and something is built for the right principles, there's always a user to use it. We're not all driving Teslas. No, another company comes along, builds upon the success of Tesla, looks what works, looks what is good, and builds on in the future. There's more than enough people to go around. I don't get that whole maximal and pointing the finger at everyone that tries to actually build something while they are behind their screen being a keyboard warrior,
Yep.
yelling at people that are actually building something that is a direct relation to your sovereignty and freedom. If nobody stands up and fight for it, nothing will happen. It always starts small. A movement always starts small. And Hex was the beginning of that movement. And then Pulse Chain and now Texan, all with the same principles. If we could all just support it, then the bigger picture comes clear. Because they all stand for the same thing. It's something similar like religion. They all agree upon something. We were created. All these projects agree upon something. We need sovereignty. We need freedom. We need self-custody, trustless yield, the no admin keys, all yada, yada, yada. It's not that hard. People just want to, I don't know, stick to the ego because that's how we were raised from childhood. We need to choose a side. Even if you don't choose a side, somebody else will choose it for you. That's the society where we're living in. It makes no sense.
Yeah, everything is pitted right, left. They're anti this, anti that. You know,
Yeah.
why can't it be a different narrative? Why pin
Yeah.
everyone against each other? And
Exactly.
I think this is, look at an endowment. When you look at all of the biggest universities in the world, they're all, they have massive endowments.
Yeah.
And it's a way for them to, it's tax free, I believe, and it's a way for them to spend money and build infrastructure, do whatever they want within the universities. And I
Yeah.
think it's just a unique way to, take something, have an endowment that is probably going to be public. I don't want to talk to Raz about that, but if you know where that money's going, if there's plans, if there's DAOs or whatever to vote on it, I mean, that's massive. I mean, you really are putting this in the hands of the people.
Yeah. It's beautifully set up the way they did it. It's going further than Hex, giving somewhat more leeway. I mean, you can stake your coins, you will get 5% annually, basically, and it ratchets up for every year that you're longer in the system. So it will simulate compounding interest. So the first year you will get 5, then you get, I believe it's 6, and then 10, and so on, so on. It's in increments. But you will also have the ability to, let's say you're in a pickle and you need money. You can scrape off your accumulated interest, take that interest and do what you need to do. And your principal will still be there. The only thing that changes is you now start from your base point again, starting with 5% each year and growing your exponential gains further on. So you could also choose not to touch it whatsoever. Then the gains will be exceptional, especially in the end. But you will always have the opportunity to, when you need money, to get money without touching your principal. And that is something that in Hex isn't possible. You have to EES to at least get some value out of it. I think that's a neat concept that they did.
Yeah, and it's like Hex is Hex, and you think everyone has their own opinion, but I think there's certainly I wouldn't call them flaws, but there's stuff that looking back on it, I'm sure Richard might have done it differently.
Yeah, exactly.
And to see how Jack Levin, the hate he's getting by by tweaking Hex a little bit and giving it out for free, basically. When you see that hatred, something is there. It triggers people, and that's when it makes me bullish. And what
Yeah.
just with Texan, the same thing, taking Hex and using the great things about it, but tweaking it and making it better for you.
Yeah.
And I just really like that. I think the more people build, the better. And the more
Yes.
people in the community that have been here for a while, that are known, those people building stuff, I'm much more comfortable in that than versus when Pulse launches and there's all kinds of gaming and AI and all the stuff that's going to flood in with who God knows who these people are. We're kind of blessed right now that all the projects launching, we all kind of know who the people are. And when that changes, that's when it's going to get risky for people.
Exactly. We should stand for the message or stand for the space. It's the movement that we should be pro for, not just one thing within that concept. So, and that's something that is new since Hex. I hadn't seen it before prior to Hex. Before, it was normal to have an insane amount of coins in your portfolio and just put your money everywhere you can, hoping for that money shot. After Hex, it was more tribalistic, maybe somewhat. And that was completely new to me, even though I truly liked it because the people in Hex are freaking amazing. There's no comparison whatsoever. The things that I witnessed within the Hex community is yeah, it's insane. So many people have been helped. The only thing you have to do is just reach out, and people help you, no matter what it is. It's insane. I've seen so many beautiful things within Hex or hexagons.
Yeah. And it's like too, when you're investing in a coin or whatever you're doing, if the fundamentals aren't great, right? What's the next
Yeah.
thing you look at? The team and the people behind it. So like with Rags, with Crypto Heartbeat, I mean, it's investing in those people.
I'm just reading Samantha's message. Sorry, you got to bring it up. It's so funny.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not selling the Rags.
Yeah.
Well, see, Samantha, that's the thing, you didn't get into Luna Classic, when
Yeah.
Rags called that out, and we 100x on that bag within a week. I know the chart's saying it's down 100%, but it's misleading.
Exactly. Yeah, and everybody that sacrificed or for Pulse or Pulse X could claim your Texan token, and everybody could get 1 million of them.
Yeah, don't listen to vegans, right? That is correct.
Hey, whatever rocks your boat.
Yeah. So what you say you can with the 1 million coin, you can still free claim, right?
I think the free claim is over.
Okay, so you could, if you claimed it, you could give 1 million away, or is that how?
Yeah, that was the second thing that they did afterwards. Another cool gesture again. So if you had claimed your sacrifice or your airdrop already, in a later stage, you were given the possibility to give another ETH address from somebody else that you would like to gift your Texan token to, and a lot of people did.
Yeah, that's the thing, if Hex at the beginning, it was almost an IQ test, right? Like,
Yeah,
it was the amount of being made fun of that I got for skilling Hex back in 2020
Yep,
through my Discord.
I
It
was
was
one of them.
hilarious.
Yep.
And that's when the same thing, I knew there was something there because of this hatred for no reason. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, my job was to give you guys coins that I thought would do well. There was never a problem with these random altcoins from Polka Starter to Zilliqa to YF.
Oh, so
Hex
many.
came along, and it
Yeah,
just like the same thing was happening with Zen now. It's like something triggered people, so that
yeah,
something's there. And so, the community that came with that was able to see through that initial layer that Richard almost put up,
yeah.
to see through the scam. So you almost got a smarter group of initial entrants into the ecosystem that
Yep.
saw through what 90% of people didn't.
If we recorded the complete process that we two went through from the beginning and put it on YouTube, it would be freaking epic. I will sum it quickly down. So Adam introduced Hex to me. He said, "This is what it is. Look into it." I looked into it, went to the website, thought, "Yeah, no way, this looks legit." Then he comes to me saying, "Dude, if you stake your money now, before this day, you will get at least 30% afterwards, depending on the length of your stake." And I said, "Dude, where have we heard this before? I give you one, you give me two back. Dude, this is a scam." And then prior to Big Payday, Hex did an insane run. So you could imagine Adam being all braggy and cheerful to me, and I was the one with the the tail between the leg. And then within what days, Hex did a 95% drop, and the role reversed. Now I was the one that was cheerful, and he was the one with his tail between his leg. And then with 2 weeks, we were right back at old prices. And then I said, okay, if it can recover from a 95% dip after an inflationary event and get back to its price previously, there's got to be something here. And this is when we, or at least I, truly went into Hex, regretting that I didn't listen to my homie previously because I missed out on Big Payday. But it is what it is.
There we go. Look at that. See, we're such idiots here. We're not even on the right website.
God damn it. What do you
Yeah,
do?
there we go. Right. Look at that. That's so yeah. Do not go to Texan Token.cc. Luckily, I'm in Brave here. I don't have anything connected to it, but do not go to that website there. That's good to know. Texan Token.cc is a scam. So I didn't even know that. Look, you can connect your wallet right away. That is right there. How you connect your wallet there and you sign that button, I bet you your wallet is wiped instantly. That's
Yep.
exactly how stuff happens like this. So be very, very, very careful. That I'm gonna actually take a screenshot of this and post it up there because for new people coming in, this is exactly how they get scammed. Not knowing, come here, connect their wallet that they sacrifice.
Damn, that went fast.
Yeah. So
I didn't even realize all I was seeing was the logo of Texan.
yeah,
Funny, didn't even realize.
yeah. So yeah, that is crazy.
Wrecked.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like that. I mean, one button like that right there, you connect your MetaMask to that site, you don't know what's gonna happen. Even though my ledger is connected through my MetaMask, I still have to sign off on everything. You never know. Like you probably would never be able to use that account again. And that's just by clicking one button on a site you thought was legitimate. That's
Yep.
how dangerous crypto can be. And why keeping stuff on your ledger and in a hardware wallet versus just in MetaMask makes all the difference in the world.
Yep. I think if you go to the white paper and scroll down, you will actually see the chart that it makes for your interest or yield. I think it was on this page.
There's the table. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go. Yep. Starting at 5, 6, 8. Delaying gratification, right?
Yeah. So let's say you're 6 years in. You now accumulated what? 20, 50, that's a lot.
20%.
No, it add up so somewhat. So the first year you get 5%, the second year you get 6. So in total you got 11%, so on and so on. So if you come into in a period where you might need money, you can at any point say, I want to scrape all my interest, get it out, get the things done that I need to do, and then your principal will be just staying in there, accumulating interest again. Only you start at year 6 back at 5 or at 5% again and walk this ladder.
And that's so cool. I mean,
Yeah,
that's preventing a potential emergency end stake or doing something that
exactly.
you are going to regret in the future. And that's where, with Hex being immutable, you can't go back and be like, damn, I wish I could change that. I wish I tweak that a little bit. And that's where you're seeing smart people understand that, maybe this could be done a different way, not necessarily better, but more a different way that benefits me and my community and us as a whole. And I completely am on board with all this. I never understood the hatred in the community from people creating a new coin or a new project. First of all, there's tax reasons, which I'm not saying this is anything to do with it, but once you make money, there's potential tax liabilities that come with it. So that's that. But you need a passion. If your passion is money and not something else, it's not going to end up good. And I don't feel that at all from people in this community. So that we all grow together, and when Pulse comes out, all the stuff that we don't develop or build inside the community, it will come and
Mhm.
other people will develop it. Like you were saying, we were talking a week or two ago, and you were saying that pretty much every idea that you've came up with like gifts or the little waffles or whatever, everything that you don't act on, somebody else does it within a month.
Yep, exactly. I posted a lot of art in the beginning when I still owned my company and I was still making a lot of art pieces. As soon as I posted it, within weeks somebody else had it made in China and had it all on the website. It goes so fast. And at that point, I was just doing it for the love of my job. I didn't do it to sell it or make money on it. I just loved doing my job. But then after those things, and then people actually getting into my DM telling me, you ripped that from somebody else. Yeah, I thought, you know what? Leave this all. I don't need this shit.
Yeah. And
Somebody else can do it.
that's when you know, right. But when you get that hit, you're doing something right.
True.
You
But
know,
none of them were as nice as I made them. So that's always
exactly. Yeah, that's that flex that makes you feel good.
hmm
You know. So yeah, that I'm super excited next week to talk to Rack. He's coming on.
Yeah, man.
So 3 of us will be on here next week. Really excited for that, to kind of go a little more in depth about it, and to hear more hopefully about this is the next Luna Classic, hopefully.
Yeah. And they had I don't want to say a
Quite fun.
flawless launch, but pretty much perfect. You couldn't have it any other way. It was freaking amazing. And if you're in the Telegram group, these guys are freaking epic. They're so patient, so friendly. No matter who comes in, no questions is too stupid. I love this community. You see how it transfers into other projects. You can truly see when it's somewhat a hexagon in heart making a new project because they build on exactly the same principles. Only Rex is a dickhead, but yeah, can't have everything.
Yeah, that's where crypto heart. That's where Matt, he kind of levels up.
Exactly.
You got the yin and the yang.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, bro. I'm super excited. Just like
Yeah.
seeing where we were a couple of years ago in that crazy Discord server to where
Hmm.
everything is kind of flipped. We haven't really done anything different. We just kind of kept plodding along, and it seems like stuff around us is either crumbling or we're doing
Exactly.
something right. And it's an
Yeah,
awesome feeling.
it's insane.
And like I'm really excited to get this planner out. Really, I really think that
Yeah.
it's going to help a lot of people get people in onboarding you into crypto. That's the
Yep.
worst calls I get are when people I bought this coin on Uniswap and now it's saying I can't swap it, or I swapped for this coin and now everything is gone. Those are the worst calls I get. And this is a way, hopefully, to get the next wave of people. Like we were just
Hmm.
talking off stream about what the potential market could, what it could look like in the future. And
Yes.
this chart right here is the dollar. And when the dollar drops, that's when crypto and hard assets rise. So we're now right at a major support line. So is the dollar going to drop and fall through here and we're going to keep pumping, or are we going to bounce off this support line, which I don't know. That's going to dictate a lot in the future. And then Bitcoin's
Correct.
price, we are at the top of a resistance line. So it's just setting up for this little pump to come back down while the dollar goes up again. And then we're going to kind of just do the same thing for the next couple months in the stock market too. If you look at the S&P 500 right now, right up at this resistance line. So,
Yep.
I would like to see us kind of just take off, this fall down through here and phase down, but I don't think it's going to happen. Jerome Powell, it seems like he's on one just to cripple the entire world, you know,
Yeah.
and but it's criminal what's
People
going
just need to have two plans.
on.
If you So now that you showed us the dollar, we now know, okay, if the dollar goes up, this will happen, probably. If the dollar goes down, this will happen, probably. And take your actions accordingly. Don't just sit there with as a deer in headlight. You now have a plan. You know, okay, when this happens, I do this. When this happens, I do that. As long as you write everything for yourself down, if need be or if necessary, then do it.
Mm-hmm.
But always have a clear plan on what to do with a backup.
But I brought this up about maybe 6 months ago on a stream that Lebanon had devalued their currency overnight by 90%. And it was all to get on board with the IMF for their future. So starting in 24, 25, now Lebanon gets benefits of the IMF. But in doing that, they devalued their currency 90%. And this guy literally walked over to a bank this morning and shot it up to try to get his money back. Like that's how crazy it's getting in these countries. So
Yeah,
Lebanon's dollar used to be 2.8 Lebanese pounds. Now it's 46,000.
it's
So
insane.
these central banks are destroying currencies around the world. And if you're not jumping on board with the IMF, you're screwed moving forward. So this is the price that the countries are paying to jump on board with Klaus Schwab. I mean, it's horrible. And then you see that with stuff like this right here with, the Godfather of crypto creating a new privacy focused CBDC. Here's how. This is what is coming. I really don't think that the tracking the CBDC with total control is going to happen. The pushback in China, Nigeria, it's crazy. It's at a 1% or less usage rate. So that is a complete flop. So it's going to have to be incentivized and ushered in. And this right here is the next step of it. And I just saw this earlier. They're calling it eCash 2.0, and they're aiming to basically it's privacy and quantum resistant. So basically,
Yep.
kind of like Zcash, Monero built into the CBDCs, which Project Turbian is the name of it. Richard will probably love that with all his watches, but we'll see if they can do this right here and they can pull off some kind of coin that has privacy, and they're going to offer it as universal basic income, I think. And they're going to say, here you go, take this $1,000 and, we'll give you,
exchange it for,
yep. Give us your old bank account. Take this new currency. We'll give you an extra 10%. We'll give you an extra 20%. Here's an extra $3,000 if you use it. There's going to be some kind of offer to it. But the fact that it's flopping in China, it's flopping in Nigeria, they're not going to be able to just say your dollar is done, cash is gone, you're using this. It doesn't work that way. And no matter what the headlines are showing you, no matter what the media is saying about CBDCs are coming, it's all going to be an offer. This is all fear. It's all FUD right now. And they can't even figure out a way to get China on board. So how are you going to get rural United States on board? It's impossible.
I can still remember when the card came into existence. Prior to that, we only had cash. I believe it took about 12 to 13 years for the PIN card, the way we have it in Europe, to truly be accepted and slowly see cash being the lower dog or the underdog in this financial payment system. This will be exactly the same thing. It won't be overnight. You can't expect people to accept something completely new overnight. My parents still don't use online banking. They still do everything on paper. And it's getting harder and harder for them to do their finances because that system pretty much doesn't even exist anymore. It has to go through so many layers to get their things done. It's going to take some time for things to be implemented.
And even with the credit cards, you weren't forced to use them. It was an offer. You can now swipe this card and you don't have to pay for it for 30 days or even 60 days, but you got to pay us a little bit of a penalty. So it was an offer. It wasn't mandatory and mandated. So that's where I don't see this. I was really kind of nervous about this a year or so ago, but now that you're seeing around the world, it's not happening. And it just makes me believe that what we're seeing happen is all of the small exchanges like we've never heard of, like ZipMex right here. These little guys, they're all getting sucked up by the bigger exchanges. Binance is the sitting on the king of the hill right now. They're so much bigger than everywhere else. It's almost like a monopoly. That's unfair. And I really think that Coinbase, Bitstamp, even KuCoin or Huobi, they're going to all consolidate. So there'll be 3 or 4 big players around the game that can kind of compete with Binance. You can't just have one company doing $60 billion in volume and the rest doing $1 billion a day. It just doesn't, it's not sustainable. And when I see that Uniswap V4 is building out for banks and that the commercial and institutions are going to be able to use Uniswap, you can kind of see where this is going. They're flooding crypto. So it's too risky for you to do it with FTX, or it's so risky. You need to have Bank of America help you out, or you need to go to JP Morgan so they can hold it for you and you can be safe. That they're going to sell it back to you for, they're going to buy it for pennies on the dollar and sell it back to you for $5 because it's now safe, or whatever the narrative is going to be. That's where I think it's going.
Yeah, they do everything to protect you. So you're not allowed to invest in good project because you might get rocked. So you need to be incredible investor. We all do it for your safety. Same with all the healthcare and all the other nonsense. It's all for your safety. It's all for your health. We do it all for you. Meanwhile, the whole world is in shekels.
And heck, paper cash is still the best private currency. I try to exclusively use it in daily life outside.
So true.
It's all so ironic that with the headlines that came with the Nigerian CBDC, it was all about how they're limiting cash withdrawals to 245 American dollars a week. And all of this fear that they're getting rid of cash because they know that cash is the ultimate privacy.
Yep. And we've seen it more and more. I've seen it over here, especially locally, where it's not really. So I live in a farm place, so there's only farms around me. So we have those small shops that is attached to the farm, and usually they did everything in with a credit card, let's say, the PIN pass for us. But now you will see signs, please pay in cash. They wanted to go back to cash again. And it's all about consensus. If we want to truly want to use cash and don't use their system, it needs participation to work.
Yeah, and it's really scary that coincidence that all the demonization of farmers in the Netherlands right now is happening. Is that part of the ones that got preyed on? Were they pushing for cash only? You know, what was going on behind the scenes?
Well, it's just a fucked up situation. I mean, in the end, the only thing they want is that they are the ones that supply us for our foods. So now it's still somewhat decentralized. They still control on how the food is made, the quality and everything. And they want to be the ones that is in control. People need to understand that the only reason why we are governable is because we are dependable. As soon as you start being independent, no matter what it is, they lose their governability over you. If you don't need their food, if you don't need their energy, if you don't need their system for anything that you need to do in your daily life, no matter how you want to live it, you're not governable. The only reason why we were governable, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, is because we were dependent on them. If you didn't get the Gucci, then you weren't allowed to get groceries. If you didn't do this, you're not allowed to do that. If you don't need those stuff from them, they can't govern you. It sounds like a big step, but it's something that we truly need to do more and more, even in smaller communities. It will grow.
Yeah, I'm with you. Thank you, Samantha. Appreciate the support. That's very kind of you. And yeah, bro, I'm with you 100%. And people, the
Some
the
someday
FUD,
Hexago will be a thing. Yeah.
yeah, the FUD is gonna get worse and worse and worse. But just try to see through it. You know, there's even like those articles with Nigeria and the CBDCs. It was all about them pushing it, all them wiping out cash. But then at the very end, well, there's a problem with it. There's only about 1% of the population that's on board with this. We're going to have to figure out a way of making Bitcoin and other cryptos legal tender because this is not sustainable. So
Yep.
all you read through all this fear, and then the last line is, well, it's not working. We're gonna have to change this. But you don't see that as the headline. So I think there's light at the end of the tunnel. You know, hodl strong. You know, we've been taught to have diamond hands. That's the thing that I'm blessed to be in Hex for, is it's taught me how to hold crypto. I don't get fudded out of anything anymore. And just that sense of I don't care if we go down anymore. It's so great versus
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know, the feeling of like, oh
Yeah.
God, oh no.
I mean, in the beginning, it's denial and then depression, anger. It's so true. But
Yeah,
once you've seen it all, I mean, yeah, we were talking about it pretty much, a year ago. People start or take your profit now or shut up and wait for the next run or start doing something because it's not going to go better from here. And everybody still believes that we're going to make new all-time highs. And yeah, it doesn't
yeah.
work that way.
Yep. I think, you know, we're just setting up exactly for something similar, this similar narrative with just looking at the dollar, where if this bounces back up, we're gonna dip down, But if we can fall through down and crash down, people are going to think we're back up and running. Oh,
Also true.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to on the other chart up here. So I have the dollar chart up. I'm looking at it and talking to myself. But if we could fall through this support line, that's gonna be great for crypto. And it's inevitable. Where this dollar is at astronomical levels, right? And the more that interest rates stay high, the Federal Reserve each month they add 0.5%. The countries around the world are being decimated. You're seeing them, start to really panic. So I was telling Erwin, Jerome Powell is basically gonna bring this to the threat of war. Like these companies or countries' currencies are gonna be so destroyed towards the dollar that they're gonna. At what point do you say we're done with this?
Good point. I mean, they have so much control over the mainstream narrative. And even though we're not really a minority again or anymore, it's still, they control the masses. They can make people believe whatever they want. It's insane.
Yep.
And for the ones that are followers of astrology, we are heading into a new moon. And a new moon is usually bullish energy. So we just went through a full moon that is usually negative energy. So we could see a nice 2 weeks, upcoming 2 weeks. Who knows? Maybe if the dollar falls, new energy, moon energy. I can see a new nice run, intermediate run.
Yeah, and anybody that tells you they know what the price is going to be in a month, 2 months, 3 months, they're lying to you and just making up numbers. Like this changes daily. Like everything goes off. The market follows Bitcoin. Bitcoin follows the stock market. The stock market is dictated what the dollar's doing. Where interest rate. There's what CPI. Like there's so much that is tied to each other. So it's every day things change. Nobody knows where we're going, except in the long run. Yeah, we're going up, but in the short term, it's going to be max pain. How do we extract the most money from investors? And that's trending sideways and giving narratives. We're going way up or we're going way down while we don't do anything. And it's what we've been doing for a while now. And eventually we'll come out of it, I hope, by March. And by then we'll be starting a new bull run and the narratives will all be different.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we were talking about it in the green room. I see max pain can be two ways. So either people that are still in crypto, when we go lower, it's max pain for them. The people that aren't in crypto anymore, if we go higher from here, let's say we do a soccer rally, or everybody thinks it's a soccer rally, and everybody's waiting for that lower low, and everybody's sitting and waiting with a bag of USDC on the sideline. And then the market maker thinks, you know what? Screw this shit. Let's send it. Let's start the new bull run. Before people will realize that it's actually not coming back, they're so far behind, they will experience max pain because they now have to probably buy in 10 times higher than they were waiting for. So max pain works both ways. And a market maker can fuck you up like nobody else.
There's two ways right there of max pain where we just slowly creep up or we just chop. So either way, it doesn't look great, but that's the stuff that we're trained to see through. These are life-changing entry points. Just the AI stuff that's happened in the last week with this chat bot AI.
That's insane.
It's nuts, right? And like it's just coincidence that I have a bag of Fetch AI and AGIX, and they're the AI coins that I found from the last bull run that I kept little bags of, and they jumped like 40-50% overnight. And I think it was just on the valuation of that chatbot being $10 billion. So now it's like, okay, that's worth $10 billion. We have something that's similar to it that does this. It's got to be worth at least 300 million or whatever it is. So that it's exciting. The narratives are going to start to change with AI, with gaming, with the metaverse will be back. there'll be something shiny and new to dangle in front of the next wave of investors.
That's so true.
We'll be here sitting back, just trying to warn people, but
Having fun. Yeah.
yep, just exactly. It's awesome. We're in a great spot. We're in a great community, and we're only
Exactly.
building and getting stronger.
Yep. For sure. We need to do
Awesome.
more meetups. We'll do in the next
Yeah.
run. You will see the meetups pop up again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
KSB, they're starting to do them now. I think that Pulse Chain not coming out put a big damper on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they had the birthday in San Diego. I think Hexray was just out in Utah or somewhere with the meetup. So they're starting to happen again. And yeah, I'm totally with you. Those are very productive and necessary.
Yeah. Even though I believe in the stream, Richard said he still thinks it's somewhat of a net negative doing the crypto Sparbook tour. And that's only because he can't really verify if the net outcome was positive or negative.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need to look at that way. You're building up an organic information or acceptance and visualization of a product. It's something doesn't grow overnight. It's the same as the Google algorithm. You can pay as much money as you want to Google. If you started your page at day one of Google and just used it on a regular basis, that organic algorithm that it's meshed itself in could never be outperformed by just paying it. So putting Hex out there on every measurable means that we know and have that as something to fall back on, it's a part of your history, it will only solidify the brand. And I truly believe it's necessary, even though it might not be net positive from that point, the same as the NASCAR.
Would you consider it a net positive if every stop did what we did and gave everybody their hex? So everyone that walked out of there, we sent 555.5555 hex to. So that way they were forced to look at it after they left.
And they probably would have all sold it, and he would have seen it as a net negative.
Yeah.
Because they got free money in their hand and they get just rid of it. We've seen it in Texan the same way. The amount of people that just instantly dropped their 1 million Texan or whatever it was worth, I believe $30 or something.
Yeah.
Haven't people learned anything? Uniswap, 1inch. The list goes on and on. Just wait a couple of months. These things, Pulse Doge, they all did the same.
Yep.
Just wait. Why would people still be dumping their free airdrop coins that provenly throughout history will always go up? Pretty much. Or it must be a scam, whatever, but still.
Yeah, I think that's where inflation, that's where the economy shutting down, that's the side effect of it is people lost jobs, they don't have, everything's more expensive, so you have to supplement that, and what's the easiest way to do it is just sell something you just got for free, or sell something that you don't have to go out, it's easy. It's super liquid.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate thing is people are selling stuff that they're in that position because financially things aren't going well, but they're getting rid of the one thing that could bring them out of that
Exactly.
position.
I mean, I don't mind. I just keep on buying. I mean, I truly believe in the project, and I think people will be amazed how good Texan can go. Because just think about it. They are tapping into a complete already existing community of hundreds of thousands of people. And from what I have found out is that Texans are really, I don't know, it's more like how you act as a village or a country, an individual country. Their pride, they literally are somewhat separate from the United States already, even though it's not on paper. It's a completely different breed of people, and I think if they can tap on with this message about freedom and sovereignty, and I think this could be bigger than people could realize. I wouldn't sleep on it, let's put it like that.
Yeah.
What up, Devin? What up, Romanian Dan? I need
Yes.
to watch the chat more.
Yeah. Yeah. And do not go to Texan Token.cc. That is not the right website. We were sitting there for about 15 minutes,
Yeah.
even realizing we're on a scam site. But that was honestly probably a good thing because now people we
Everybody
can
knows.
see how quickly your life can be flipped upside down. One click of that button on that Texan Token CC, you log into MetaMask and you sign that verification, your wallet can be nuked. That's how fast things can go south.
Yes.
No,
And
just
that's
on a
also that's also a thing that people always need to read. I know it sounds silly, but every time you approve your wallet through MetaMask, it will say the approval that you give it. So it will tell you approve show balance, approve transactions, and those things. But it will also tell you if you're on a scam site that it will actually approve that you are approving them accessing your coins, and it will tell you as soon as you do it. Just always read it. You never know. It's 5 seconds to read the message that MetaMask gives you, and you can still get out before it's too late.
Yep. And yeah, it does show you. And even if you don't, if you're doing something like you're authorizing like approving a coin to swap or authorizing a stake or a claim of Hedron or something, it's gonna tell you what it is. But when you see something that you're claiming a free airdrop and you go to MetaMask and it's like and it says something and it in your gut, you're like, man, that just doesn't look right. Stop and just don't and go back. You know, you can always redo it or come back to it. But if you click that button and you approve it, there's no coming back from it. So if you get
Exactly.
anything in your gut that tells you, man, something's not right, I don't know, just stop, pump the brakes, reach out to somebody because that, like I was saying, that's how quickly it can happen. It happened to me. You know,
Yeah.
I was on EcoFi was the name of it a couple of years ago. I'll never forget it, a pre-sale. And I was on ecofi.com and it was supposed to be ecofi.net or whatever the hell it was, but it was a perfect clone, perfect scam of that website. And I logged into it and, you know, boom, my MetaMask account was wiped. So similar to this. And until it happens to you,
Yep.
you don't realize how devastating it is and how easily it could happen. So just, you know, trying to prevent people from making that mistake is why we're here. You know, I've made them all. You've made them all. So
Yep.
there's nothing new that's came mistakes people can make. So if you can be transparent and show people and learn from them, you know, hopefully others won't make those mistakes. And then if no one's falling for them, the scams are going to die down.
Yep. Yeah, that's also something that we discussed in the green room. I mean, if you want to get rid of scams, make sure there's more good stuff.
Yeah, and support guys like Rags, guys like Hexray that
Yeah,
are building
exactly.
projects. You know, these are who do you want to see other people doing it or people that we've known and grown with in this community? You know, it's going to get done one way or the other. People are going to build stuff. If there is money to be made or there's a niche to be filled, it will be done.
Yeah.
Whether it's by hexagons now or new people that come into Pulse Chain and say they're hexagons. There's going to be so many people that come into Pulse Chain that claim they're hex OGs. I can see it happening already.
Yeah, people shouldn't be mad on other people for building stuff. We have a saying in Dutch, and I'll try to translate it to English. It pretty much says better to steal it properly than come up with something that is bad. So it's better for you to copy or steal something that is already good and build upon it instead of you coming with up with something that makes no sense. But it's really hard to translate from Dutch to English.
Yeah. Well, that's what that new chat AI bot now
Yeah,
AI bot translate this to Dutch for me. I wonder
good
if that's
point.
gonna work good.
Probably.
Oh man. What a world we live in. What serendipity. That's right. Hex Monkey, how that comes full circle.
Hmm.
From being on with Richard and being told stop getting scammed. And that, I mean, people just don't know that's how quick it can happen. You know,
Yep.
you're excited about Texan Token and you know you're just not paying attention and you go to texantoken.cc. Boom, you're done. That's how fast it can happen. So be careful, take your time, always double check when you're connecting your wallet. And you can't be safe. I've seen so many things happen to people that could have been prevented just by reading carefully.
Yep.
Just the simplest things.
Yeah, you're so true, Lindsay. It's exactly what Richard says. Exactly. Take what works and make it better. Exactly.
Yep.
And then people do exactly what Richard tells them to do. And then there are people around them pointing fingers and blaming. I don't get it.
Yeah, right. Richard said he unfollows everybody that isn't a Hex maxi only, but he follows you still, right?
Yep.
And you are
Pretty much for
posting live on your Twitter now. Like you've been
yeah,
retweeting all of my stuff, and a lot of it isn't Hex related. You know, I talk
exactly.
about everything in crypto, and the fact that he's not blocking you, it shows you he doesn't mind if you're into other projects, if you're doing stuff, but it's the scams and the shilling of
Exactly.
shit coins that crosses the line. You know, I'm
Yep.
sure if you told them, hey, Richard, you know, I really am looking at these CBDCs, and I think Quant is going to be great for interoperability. And it looks like XLM with MoneyGram. There could be really something there, and XRP with the banks and cross-border transactions and instant settlement. I really think this is something. I'm sure he would say, yeah, you're probably right. He's not going to tell you, oh no, sell all those and put it into Hex.
No.
It just doesn't make logical sense. So
If you're not chilling but promoting decent projects that are DeFi or are built on the right principles, I don't think he really minds. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. He could have me muted and doesn't even see my posts anymore. Who knows? I mean,
I,
I'm the village
I
idiot
don't
that
know.
posts pretty much everything.
Knowing Richard, I think he wants to see everyone that he's
Yeah.
going to everybody.
And he likes one of my posts every now and then, so he still watches them. But
That's even more proof of read between the lines. You know,
yep,
even yep. I love it.
me too.
Love it. So yeah, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes almost. That's
Already?
yeah. Time
Dang.
flies when you're on
Yep.
scam websites and talking about airdrops and Texan and
Yep.
Texan and all that good stuff.
If
But
people want to see more, I'll be on Hex Foodies later, probably with Finbear and Devin,
awesome. Yeah, that's what
Eco
time's that?
Builder.
5 o'clock
Um,
Eastern,
yeah, I'm
5
usually,
or 6.
yeah, probably. Let me check. For,
Awesome. Yeah, that definitely
it's in
check out.
about 2 hours.
Okay, okay, so you're on at 1 o'clock. Awesome. Well,
Yep.
all right, that's everything that we got. You know, if you haven't liked, subscribed, please do. Really appreciate the support. I'll be on tomorrow morning with just a little crypto market update, and then Saturday night with Lindsay and I with the Hex News. And then next week we're having Rags and Erwin on here on Wednesday
Perfect.
for a little Texan update and Q&A and see what Rags is really about.
Strap your seatbelts.
Yeah. Awesome. We gotta check out Erwin on Hex Foodies in a couple hours. Yeah, we will at noon. Okay, it's at noontime, Texas.
Here we go.
1 o'clock Eastern time. Check Erwin out, Hex Foodies. I'll be in there spamming up the chat. Smash the like buttons, and we will see you guys next week.
Perfect. Have a good one.
At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.